more analysis and perspective, on the possibility of a government shutdown, we turn to Steve People, who's a political reporter for CQRollCall.com. He joins us via Skype with the very latest on all issues inside the Beltway there in Washington. Steve, good morning to you. Can you hear me?
I can. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Let's talk about that government shutdown. As I understand, there are lots of reports out there that a vote could happen in the House as soon as today.
Yep, that's certainly true. On this front, there's been a ton of controversy, but things do appear to be moving in the right direction in terms of getting that temporary resolution passed. Again, it is just a temporary resolution, so if they can come together, that would buy them approximately 2 weeks. Certainly that's not as positive as it could be in terms of avoiding a long-term shutdown. But again, things are moving in the right direction on that.
You know, these days it seems anytime you bring up budget, you also have to bring up health care kind of in the next breath. And that's an issue the president seems to be wavering on just a bit.
Correct. The president did speak to governors yesterday. Governors are in Washington this week. There's a big conference. And he seemed to make some concessions in terms of the deadlines that certain states would have in allowing some of these reforms to take place. Really, the big payoffs for states that wouldn't have occurred until about 2014 or so. And he told governors yesterday that they literally could begin in the coming months should they choose to.
Now, I'm sure that's probably a big feather in the cap of they're licking their chops, if you will. A lot of Republicans heading to Iowa in the next couple of weeks trying to start their pushes for a candidacy for the presidency. Some big names, Newt Gingrich, one of them.
Exactly. Newt Gingrich is somebody who we're fully expecting to announce the formation of a presidential exploratory committee this week. We're taking a major step forward for him. He's obviously a very well-respected conservative voice. He's been in the public eye since he left the House in 1998. But he also has some major baggage that he'll have to get through. You know, he's been married 3 times. He has a temper. He's known for kind of blowing his top from time to time. And unfortunately, those are issues that presidential candidates in this day and age really have to learn to manage if they're going to be successful.
Another name being tossed out there for Republicans is Haley Barbour, the current governor of Mississippi, also the former chair of the RNC.
Right. Haley Barbour is someone who I do fully expect to jump into this race. He's been very active on the ground in New Hampshire, building a team. He will have some issues to overcome himself, being from the Deep South. He in this day and age, and yeah, he certainly will be around.
And then, of course, there's Sarah Palin, who these days seems to be kind of the face of the Tea Party movement in the Republican Party.
Everybody loves to talk about Sarah Palin, whether you love her or you hate her. She certainly takes up a lot of conversation. She will be going to India later this month, actually on March 19th. Which is really a big deal for her. She's only been out of the country a few times in her life. She got a passport in 2006, and she really needs to prove to the American people that she had the experience necessary to be president. Now, interestingly, once she comes back from India, she'll have been to India more often than she'll have been to New Hampshire this presidential cycle. So certainly she's sending some mixed messages, and it's really anybody's guess at this point whether or not she jumps into this race.
All of that just means fun times for you inside the Beltway there in Washington.
Exactly, I'm thrilled.
I'm sure. Thanks so much for being here with us. Always fun to talk to you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, folks, and there you have a bit more perspective of what's happening in Washington, D.C. and some of the ways